What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch back here with another NFL free agency breakdown. Preston Smith is going to improve that Packers pass rush that has significantly dropped off over the last couple of years, with Nick Perry not playing as well and now being released, Clay Matthews not being Clay Matthews. So the Packers have needed to revamp their edge rush, and Preston Smith is one part of that. He is going to absolutely increase their productivity from the edge, getting after the quarterback, hitting the quarterback, and increasing the pressure in general. Now, a lot of people are going to look at Preston Smith sack numbers and be like, ooh, this wasn't a very good move by the Packers. You know, 8 sacks is his career high. He's done it twice, 2015 and 2017. He is only 26 years old. He's only played 4 seasons. He was a pretty high draft pick as well. Preston Smith, though, is a player that his force and his nature is not about the sacks. It's a similar thing to like Trey Flowers or Jadeveon Clowney in a way. Although he's not in that class, he is a player that makes a quarterback aware of him. He is usually very relevant in a game. Like, sacks don't always mean pressure. Sacks don't always mean getting in the face of a quarterback. Sacks don't always tell you how many times you hit the quarterback. So looking at quarterback hits, 21 last year, which is very good, and 16 this past season. He's been very good over the last 2 years, in my opinion, as a pass rusher. 8 sacks last year, 4 sacks this year. He played pretty well in terms of his coverage. He's actually pretty versatile in that regard of his game. Like, he is pretty big. He's 6'5", 265, but he kind of has this rare ability to drop back in a little bit of coverage. Maybe he'll like fake a rush and drop back in a zone and pick the ball off. He had 2 interceptions last year, an interception this year, and an interception the year before that. So he has an interception 3 years in a row, despite being a defensive end edge rusher type of player. So he does have a knack for getting the ball in his hands. He has a knack for getting after the quarterback, and the Packers defense in general needed front 7 playmakers that can get the quarterback. They have Kenny Clark in the middle. They have Mike Daniels, 2 very good interior players, but they needed those players on the edge. We'll talk about Zadarius Smith in a separate video, but Preston Smith, at only 26 years old, had arguably his best season of his career this past year. Pro Football Focus says that's the case, ranking him 19th overall as an edge rusher, ranking only behind the elite of the elite in the NFL. So he is certainly a player that has a upward trajectory and is a player that you should be paying for his potential. He has a 4-year contract worth a base value of $52 million. Seems like a lot because it is quite a bit. He gets $16 million to sign. He then gets $27.5 over the first 2 seasons. So 4 years, $52 million. I think this is a solid move. I'm not going to call it like fantastic or anything, but the Packers certainly needed an edge rusher. I brought it up many times. They haven't had that, and you need at least 1, if not 2, in this league to be very productive and to get after the quarterback, and the Packers have just missed that. Now, combining what Preston Smith can do and Zadarius Smith can do with their young secondary and hopefully them getting better, adding Adrian Amos to the back end, I think this is going to be a very promising Packers defense. I like the way they've kind of shaped it together, added some pieces around. And for the Packers, I'm just glad that they're actually making moves in free agency. They're actually spending some money. And sometimes, even if it's a little bit overpaying, go for it, you know? And you only have Aaron Rodgers for so long. Preston Smith, he is young, so he's at least going to be a pretty good player for another 4 years. He might not live up to the contract entirely, but I think he's a very good player that is continuing to make strides in his young career. We'll see if he can live up to the contract, but personally, I think this is an upgrade for the Packers at the edge position. He's better than anything that Nick Perry would give you. He's better than anything Clay Matthews would give you, so it's worth the money at one of the more important positions in the NFL, and he fits the scheme perfectly. Let me know what you guys think of this addition of Preston Smith to the Green Bay Packers. Do you think this is the position and the player that they really needed? Do you think this is the player that will put them over the top? It's Mitch, the Bottom Line View. If you enjoyed, Gronk, spike the like button and subscribe for more NFL free agency. Deuces.